stupid. People aren't working. Juan, hang on a second. We have a big discussion coming up. The economy is bad, really bad. So why should we worry about saving a 3-inch fish when tens of thousands of jobs are at stake? On Capitol Hill, one congressman stirred things up when he suggested the endangered Delta smelt fish might look better on a plate. Take a listen.
The water problems in California. And it all surrounds a little fish called the Delta smelt. Some smelt that are for eating, and the smelt in California, though, are for saving. And so all of this fight, all of the war, really comes down to these fish.
Are you guys kidding? Do you really want to start a serious water war in California? And you think somehow that's going to solve your problems and get you more water?
Joining me now are the two battling water war congressmen, Devin Nunes and John Garamendi of California. Representative Nunes, we're talking about a lot of money, but more importantly, I read somewhere, 40,000 farming jobs at stake. Is that right, sir?
Most importantly, Eric, is that this is the most impoverished area in the country. We have 20% unemployment in the San Joaquin Valley. Some of these regions reach 40%. And the reality of it is, it's not just about the bait fish that they're talking about. They've actually come up with this scheme that you kill the bait fish that then kills other fish, that somehow the farmers and farm workers in the San Joaquin Valley are responsible for the decline of the killer whales out in the oceans. We have lost all common sense in this country, and all we're trying to do is put common sense back and allow this valley, where I'm from, where I represent, to go back to work.
Congressman Garamendi, 40,000, at least 40,000 jobs at stake in that area. Plus, food prices are skyrocketing across America. This will only continue to drive prices higher. Why is that 3-inch fish so important?
Well, Eric, you got your facts wrong. Actually, it's about 6,000 to 7,000 jobs, and that came from the water district that is in question here, which actually has the junior water rights. They are the lowest in priorities, and when there is a shortage, and there was a 3-year drought in California, they got less water. There's no way near 40,000 because of agriculture. The housing, the collapse of the housing industry, that did lead to an enormous number of unemployed throughout California and certainly in the Central Valley.
Congressman
the real
Nunes,
issue here, just a moment, let me,
go ahead.
Just a second.
Let's go.
The real issue here is not about the Delta smelt. In fact, the ecosystem of the California Delta is collapsing, and the water exports are a part of that problem. And what was trying to be dealt with here is the total collapse of the ecosystem.
Congressman Nunes, it's not the first time. It's not the first time a fish or a frog or a little lizard or a seahorse has caused a lot of disruption in a lot of things. A lot of projects that could bring jobs. Go ahead, Congressman Nunes.
You've heard about the canary in the coal mine. Why do they put canaries? There are certain.
Please, I'm asking Congressman Nunes. I want him to respond to the accusation that it's a whole ecosystem.
We have played this game for a long time. What you have is you have people from the 1960s who came up with bright ideas that lived in San Francisco and Hollywood, who then ran for Congress on the whole advice that they're going to save the world because canaries in the coal mine and Tipton kangaroo rats and Delta smelt. Let me tell you what's going on here. We have areas that have 40% unemployment. We have hundreds of thousands of acres of land that's been fallowed over the last 5 years for no good reason at all. As you said, we have high commodity prices. And so this is really about common sense versus real eco-terrorism to some degree. And here's the thing, if the Delta ecosystem is collapsing, I would ask Nancy Pelosi, John Garamendi, Senator Feinstein, and Senator Boxer to turn off San Francisco's water. San Francisco's water, it comes from the Sierra Nevada mountain range too. If they're so worried about the Delta smelt and the collapsing ecosystem, shut their frickin' water off.
Go ahead, sir.
But they're not willing to shut their water off.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, let's get down to the facts here. We know that in California we've got 38 million people. We know that we have serious water issues. This particular bill that Mr. Nunes has introduced is starting a water war already. He is putting aside a 18-year conflict that was solved with the San Joaquin River settlement. He's taken that aside. He's cut out the money, and then he's complained that nothing's happening. It is really a very dishonest situation going on here. With regard to the Westlands Water District, one of a multiple number of districts in California that receive federal water, they are short because they are the shortest straw. They're the junior water right. Other districts, neighboring districts in the Central Valley, in San Joaquin Valley, as well as the Sacramento Valley, have received most of the water, and in some cases 100% of their allocation. What we have here is an effort by Mr. Nunes to take one district, the Westlands Water District, and using the power of the federal law, jump that district ahead of every other water district in the state of California, throwing aside the state water rights.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. This is really important.
But, sir, you have to get to the point, please.
You cannot use just a bunch of sound bites here. This is really serious. It's about the California economy. It's also his bill destroys the ability of the federal and the state pumps to work together.
Hang on one second. Let me get Devin Nunes to weigh in. Go ahead, sir. He's saying
this is complete and utter nonsense. This is complete and utter nonsense. It's not about one district. This is about the entire state's water system that essentially has been crumbling to its knees because these fools have been shutting off the pumps that put water into the aqueduct. If you've ever driven along I-5 in California, you've seen it. And they are directly responsible for drying up hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland. They won't answer the question. Do they want to take San Francisco's water supply in the San Francisco Peninsula and dump it out to the Delta to save their precious fish? No, they don't, because they couldn't take that from their constituents. And so they talk about a water war being started. No, there hasn't been a water war. We have been put into their liberal concentration camp, and my constituents in this San Joaquin Valley is not going to take their nonsense anymore. All right. So, Mr. Garamendi, if you want to cut off San Francisco's water supply, go ahead.
Last word,
and then I'd have some respect for you. But until then, that's it.
Quickly, Garamendi, quickly.
Well, Mr. Nunes, I've got great respect for you, but you have a very bad piece of legislation here. We all need to understand that there are answers to many of the water problems in California, but when you take 40 years and the ability of the state of California to control its own water and hand it to the federal government, take one water district and jump it ahead of every other water district,
we did this. It's a great
legislation.
Discussion topic, but we did it. We can't rehash it. We'll continue. We'll stay on. We're going to say thank you to Congressman Devin Nunes and John Garamendi. Let me bring it out to tonight's